Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Big shout out to you today. I'm glad that you're joining me, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Knicks. It's a big game tonight. It's another big game. They play the Warriors tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If they win tonight, they can even up their record at 16-16. We'll see if they're able to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, in a couple of hours, about 7 p.m., we're going to find out if Julius Randle makes the All-Star team. Yeah, if Julius Randle makes that All-Star team. A lot of stuff going on in the sports world. Keep your prayers going up for Tiger Woods. If you heard about Tiger Woods getting into an accident, keep your prayers alive. There's some stuff going on with Kristaps Porzingis. A lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to go ahead and get this thing popping, ladies and gentlemen. But before I do, just let me remind you to go ahead, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. As soon as we get to 15,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving away 2 Obi Toppin rookie cards. 2 of them to 2 lucky subscribers. And if you haven't gotten it yet, please go get that NBK app on Wix, where we share information and post stuff. And if you do a podcast, you can post your podcast in the app too. So make sure that you get that NBK app on Wix. As soon as we get to 500 followers there, we're also going to be giving away 2 Obi Toppin rookie cards. So let's go ahead and get this thing popping, ladies and gentlemen. Knicks versus Warriors tonight. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead. We got Cornerstone Kev in the building. Devon, we got Andy. Yeah. Let's get this thing on and popping, ladies and gentlemen. Fellas, what's going on with you? Andy, what's up, man?
What's up? What up to you, Sim? What up to the chat? What up to the panel? Happy to be back. I missed 1 game live and I missed like 3 shows. So, it's that crazy with the shoot around, the post game. So I'm going to try to watch this game live. So no I don't have to, catch up with all the shows.
You ain't getting no free pass from me.
Yeah.
But you know that.
Oh, I missed something else. Bobby Smurder's home from prison.
Yeah.
We got to celebrate that. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff going on.
Don't gotta get him to MSG for the game.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, come on, Dolan, what's up? Go get that man, get him to MSG for the game. What's going on? You seen how they did with Meek Mill a couple years ago.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, let's get that man to the game. It's too bad this isn't a variety show.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a lot of stuff to talk about. It'd be great. You know what I mean? Because right now I can't stream on the front stoop. We usually talk about that kind of stuff on the front stoop. I can't stream on there because of certain, Apple TV. Me and Apple TV got something going on. But anyway, I ain't going to talk about that right now. Big shout out to you guys, man. Divine, what's popping?
What's good, Sim, man? Glad to be back on the show. I had to play a little hooky yesterday. Had to take care of some business, but glad to be back. That's why I gave a call in yesterday just to show some support. I'm ready to go tonight, man. We need to get this win tonight, Sim. It's like, this is a big game for us. Big up, like you said, the Tiger Woods. Hope everything is all well with him, man. And, he's not too severely injured. But, yeah, man, salute to the panel, salute to the chat. Let's get this NBK thing popping today, man. And let New York Knicks, let's go. We need to get this 16-16.
That's what I'm talking about. And we got stands in the fans, fans in the stands, right. Not stands in the fans. Fans in the stands tonight. We got 2,000 fans in the stands. I wish I could have been there. I had the opportunity, man. I had the opportunity to get tickets before they even went on sale to the public. But I just couldn't do it because I got meetings that were already, already set up. I couldn't just jump out on them. I would have loved to, but I couldn't. Kev, what's up, man?
Hey, man. If you're not excited to be a Knicks fan right now, I don't know what's wrong with you, man. I don't know. I can't help you at all. We have a chance tonight to another opportunity to go.
Your family has a wide range of personality.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Technical difficulties. Please stand by. So, but yeah, man. I'm excited, man. It's another opportunity for us to go 500. I keep going back to it, Sim. You said early December last year, this was done. Now we can say we are far from done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I'm just happy. Just happy. Salute to I forgot to say salute to the chat and salute to my brothers and sister on the panel, man. It's just great to be a Knicks fan right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Steph, how you doing?
I'm good. Andy, Sim, Devon, Cornerstone. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the opportunity to get to 500. It does say a bit about where we've been over the past years and decades, right? Like we just need to get over this hump. I'm excited about it. I'm also excited to see Randall make the All-Star team. And I just hope if he doesn't, that it just fuels him as opposed to disappoints him to the point where, he starts playing terribly. But I think he's pretty mentally strong. And looking forward to the game tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make it, I think it's politics. I really do. If he doesn't make it, I think it's really politics.
Well, there's a lot of guys deserving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of guys. I mean, look at what Terry Rozier is doing right now. He's been killing. He's a guy that's deserving. You got Zach LaVine who deserves it. Chris Middleton. I mean, there's a lot. Vucevic. There's a lot of guys out there that deserve to be on the team. Russell Westbrook, maybe. So it's hard because they only accept 12. I don't know. I think that they should expand it to 15. You're allowed to have 15 guys on your NBA roster. Why can't you have 15 guys on the All-Star roster? I don't, on the All-Star team. I don't get it, but.
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make it and then somebody goes out maybe for injury or whatever, and then they pick him.
Right.
Adam Silver would make the pick, though, right?
I think so. I think it's Adam. Yeah, I think it's Adam Silver.
If he did pick him, would you feel vindicated or would you feel like, nah, he should have made it? I obviously I understand that he couldn't make it voting. I understand that. I mean, we can only do what we can. But as far as the coaches, I still would feel kind of slighted. I mean, I'm glad they took him, but I mean, that's if he doesn't make it, pretty much.
Well, I'll speak as if I'm Julius Randle. I would take it and be happy because then at least now if I go there and I perform well and I got an all-star under my belt. You know what I'm saying? Not in because of like I got an all-star under my belt as a player to add to my resume. Now I can go into contract negotiations like I made an all-star team. I mean, trust me, I'm taking it, and I'm sure he's taking it too. And I'd be happy
not to
about
mention
it.
the bank transfers, Sim.
Not to mention
exactly. The $1 million.
Not necessarily. I think, right. It's like he gets like an extra $1 million, right?
Yeah, exactly. Round million.
Wow.
Yeah.
But Sim, just to add, on the All-Star thing, even I don't care if he maybe not. I care because I want him to get in. But as the fans are in the building, I hope the 2,000 fans, almost 2,000, are going to be in MSG. I hope they scanned, All-Star when he shoots free throws from this game to the end of the season because he deserves it no matter if he gets to the All-Star game or no.
Right.
So I hope the fans, whoever goes there, just please do it for me.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And if he makes the All-Star, they'll know probably before it's even announced on TNT. And I'll be looking forward to hearing the announcers, something like, "You're All-Star."
Yeah.
Julius Randle, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
that would be nice.
And with there being fans in the stands and stuff like that. And who would have thunk it if he makes it that it would be Julius Randle that was the first guy since, well, I guess you had KP too, right? But it doesn't feel like it with KP almost. You know what I mean? But who would have thunk it would be Julius Randle that's taking the team there? So it'd be great.
My favorite time of hearing, the All-Stars for our team, I'm going way back when Ewing, Starks, and Oakley, all three of them made it at one time. That was the best time to hear the fans going crazy for it. That was a special time.
Yeah.
When they did.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Just a couple of hours, about 3 hours from now, we'll find out if Julius Randle makes the All-Star team. What do you guys think of this KP talk, man? That the Mavs are, quietly looking to move on from Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Mark Cuban says there's no accuracy to it.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
What do you think? What do you think about that, Andy?
Well, I bet Mark Cuban won't go out and say it publicly at this point. But I heard those rumors with Atlanta maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. But again, it was only like one thing that, like I said before the show, that when I see like only one person post it, I don't run with the rumor, because sometimes you might get burned with that. So I wait for someone else to recognize the rumor, or share, spread it, whatever. To be true, that I'm questioning. So again, if it's something like KP wanted out, or they decided that it's not going to work, and they try to do whatever with it, for them it's going to be hard, because KP's contract, bearing his injury-prone career, it's going to be hard to move. To be true, exactly. Because over 150 million for 5 years, even that's over 30 million a year for a guy that basically plays like 15, 20, 25 games a season.
Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be a tough one to move, because listen, I think a team that will take a flyer on KP is probably going to be a good team. Right, so that they're not dependent on Porzingis. Right. A team that's they have a sound structure in place. They're already pretty good, and he can be a guy that can, block some shots, from his weak side defense, knock down some threes, and be that kind of a threat. And you don't got to rely on KP to be, one of your pillars of the team. I think that's the kind of team that might trade for Kristaps Porzingis. What's crazy is it's starting to remind you of Andrea Bargnani with KP, the way it was in Toronto, man. Like, he was supposed to be the guy in Toronto, and then, he fell out of favor, and then they traded him to the Knicks, and everyone was thought, well, maybe he'll be a perfect fit next to Amari and Tyson and Melo. In theory, it was a good idea. Andre Bargnani just couldn't do it on the defensive side. That's what I worry about the most. Not really the offensive side, the defensive side. And, KP is starting to be that same kind of guy, a lot due to his injury. So he'll fit good with a team that does not need to depend on him. Would he come off the bench or something like that? I don't know. But a team that doesn't need to depend on him, I think he'd work out well. But I'm just glad that we don't have to pay that $30 million plus per year. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm glad about. You know what I mean? I'm just happy about that. Divine, and you said something about earlier. You talked about that he unfollowed the Mavs on IG or something like that. But turns out he never ever followed them. So
I didn't say that, but I don't know who said it. But I was.
Oh, maybe. So maybe.
I said it,
you said it, Andy. Okay, I thought someone else. Oh, I thought it was Divine. So it turns out he never followed him. So, but anyway, we'll see what happens on that front. But let's get to the game tonight. Let's get to the game. Divine, what is your first thoughts on tonight's game?
Oh man, my first thoughts is. You know what? That's a good team down there, man. Despite what you may think about the Golden State Warriors with their injuries, they still got Steph Curry, still got Draymond Green, Kelly Oubre been playing pretty well lately, and Andrew Wiggins, and I think Wiseman might be back too. So, like any other game we play, man, it's gonna be tough. But I really believe in my spirit that we're gonna win this game tonight, man. I just think that We coming in there to play hard and do what we do best, put our defense up there, man, and hopefully we could pull out this win. So I think if Julius Randle give us what he gives us tonight, man, and RJ Barrett kind of bring the same game he brought last game and maybe even a little better, and everybody else contribute. But I think the bigger factor to me is going to be Emmanuel Quickly and Derrick Rose. We need their offense bad. I mean, if we don't get their offense, it's a wrap. That's like truly it's a wrap. For if I'm about to say KP, I'm sorry. If Quickly and Derrick Rose can and give us something tonight, and Alex Burks to contribute tonight, I think we got a good shot of winning tonight, man. I'm excited about it. I think we will win tonight.
Okay, Kev.
Yeah, if we can give the same effort that we did when we played them a few weeks ago, I think we can. I think we can do this. Now, a couple of things. I'm worried about the Steph Curry factor because Steph Curry is still Steph Curry, deserves his respect. So I'm hoping that Alfred will, do the same thing that he did before. Also what Divine said, we need Quickly and Rose to really give us that firepower that we know that they're capable of doing. And it'd be interested to see also how New Orleans approaches the game as well, with him guarding up against Wiseman. It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic comes up. And Draymond Green is looking to vindicate himself from being ejected at our game and everything.
Yeah, listen, he's not getting ejected tonight. He just got ejected the last game, right? It's not happening tonight.
It's not happening tonight. If it does, I mean, oh my goodness. So, but again, I think we will rise to the occasion. We're on a good roll right now, and I will say that if we're beating them by 20, we got to keep them down by 20. We can't let these guys get back in the game because these guys will win the game. These guys will win the game. Mm-hmm. And they have enough weapons where that can happen. Oh, and I also forgot about, I'm also worried about, like I did before, worried about Oubre, man. Worried about Oubre. Cool. We got to contain him. So,
yeah, he's been playing well.
That's about it.
He's been playing well. And unbeknownst to a lot of people, Andrew Wiggins is one of the top defenders in the NBA right now. Guy's playing some defense. Yeah. I was looking at some rankings. He was ranked in the top 10 in defenders this season. He's playing some defense. Steph, what do you think? Your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same for me every game. I think we're good enough to beat most teams in the NBA. I think it just depends on which team shows up. So if, you don't have to worry about Randall. If RJ shows up, if we can get something out of that second team, if Bullock would just hit his shots consistently. I mean, that Bullock is the difference to me in the type of team we are. If he hits half of those open shots he gets, we're just a different team. So it just depends. If those guys show up, we get something for the second team, we'll win the game. If not, like you just said, Curry is Curry. Draymond is going to be looking to have a good game. Oubre has been playing well as of late. Wiseman, maybe they put him, not Wiseman, I'm sorry, Wiseman too, but Wiggins, I'm interested to see. They'll probably put him on, I doubt if they put him on Randall though. I think we win if we show up and if that second team shows up.
Yeah, and that second team is so vital to what the Knicks can do out there on the floor and holding leads. That first team especially recently, has been able to jump out to leads and get good leads. And then the second team just isn't able to maintain that lead, and it's hurting the team because then, of course, the first unit's got to come back in and try to reestablish what they built, and it's difficult to do. Very difficult to do. My dream scenario for tonight is that the Knicks that Julius Randle's named an all-star, right? And then they come in and they wipe up the Golden State Warriors. They end up 16-16. That's a dream scenario, perfect scenario, for it to happen. We'll see. we'll see. Over the last week before tonight's game, here are just some of the numbers of the New York Knicks over the last week. And we went over this yesterday on the shoot around. They're 2-1 over the last week. This is the week from February 15th to February the 21st. They've been averaging 105 points per game over these 3 games, shooting 43.5% from the field, 38% from 3. They're shooting free throws good at 82.1% over this last week. They've been averaging 10.3 offensive rebounds, 35 defensive rebounds, and 45.3 rebounds overall, offensive and defensive. Their assists are down to 18.3, and I want to talk about that. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I want to talk about it now as well. Now, why are their assists down so low? I mean, they already weren't getting a lot of assists, but now it's down even lower to 18.3. They've averaged 12.7 turnovers over the last few games, 3 games, 5.3 steals, and 5 blocks per game. Those are the numbers of the Knicks. These are just recent trends of the New York Knicks over the last week. 18.3 assists per game over the last 3 games. Is it, how much of it do you think is due to Mitchell Robinson not being able to create that vertical airspace? Every game you get a couple of 1 or 2 lobs to Mitchell Robinson, a couple of, penetration and dip off to Mitchell Robinson. Tony Crow, seems to think that's a big part of why the assist numbers are down. Some of it I also think is due to teams just knowing what we're going to do now and scheming for us, since there's a lot more tape on what this team does now. What do you think, Andy?
Well, firstly, I think you can, of course, attribute that to the absence of Mitch, but it's not going to be the whole difference. I think more of a difference makes that our starting bench backcourt, they're not hitting shots last couple of games. Derrick Rose was 1 from 8. Quickly was atrocious last couple of games. And that's a big part of the of the assist, because those guys are running and they are sharing the ball in that second unit. Meanwhile, in the first unit, our game looks more like we pass it to Julius. Julius makes his move and plays a lot more of ISO ball when he scores. The same with RJ. The same can go with Peyton. When he gets the ball, he drives to the basket. He never, maybe not never, but he tries to go, straight to the rim and ends his possession taking a layup. So, plenty of those assists came from the second unit. And I think, those guys not being able to score and catch fire the last couple of games basically, got us, a few assists less in the last week.
Yeah. We're definitely seeing way more one-on-one basketball. A lot more one-on-one basketball from this team, even from Julius Randle. Although he's still getting his assist numbers. Earlier in the season, he was close. He was 9, 8, 7 assists. He was averaging 6 point something assists per game, but it's starting to dip and fall, and it's getting down to 5.6, 5.7 assists per game now. Some of it is due to him being a little bit more ISO heavy as well. And, maybe it's because they're like, hey, we need Julius to score. Some of it could be they're also not hitting shots. They're only shooting 43.5% or whatever it was over the last 3 games. Steph, I think you were going to say something.
I think I agree with what you said, but I also think that he's handling the ball less. If you remember the first, 10 games, quarter of the season, he would bring the ball up a lot. Now, basically, Rose will bring it up quick. Who's our starting point guard again? Peyton.
Alfred.
Alfred will bring it up. He's just handling the ball less, I think, in addition to what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Devon? Go ahead, Andy. My bad.
Yeah, maybe what's the most important factor? We're getting closer to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
I suppose.
Right.
No, in stronger effect.
Right. And that's that could definitely be just that. Teams are clamping down better defensively, right? Because now you're starting to get into the thick of the season, and the standings are becoming more important. Divine, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I think right before the Orlando game or during the Orlando game, I was telling them how suffered they was playing that game when nobody was passing the ball. Everybody was coming down, shooting on their own, and I think that started to roll over, and that's what I'm seeing now. And I really believe that, like Andy said, I really think that Quickly and Derrick Rose, them are guards. You know what I mean? They handle the ball a lot. They not scoring or passing, we ain't getting them assists. You know what I mean? So I really think a majority of that really is them two. Not that it's their fault, but because they're not having good games and they've been having a bad couple of games. I mean, 2 for 20 something or 4 for 20, whatever. Look how many assists they just left on the table. You know what I mean? Right. You shoot 20 shots and only hit 4 or 10 or whatever. You leaving a lot of assists out there. And I think that's the primary reason why it's down to me is that them two guys is not playing their game, and and if they're not scoring, the roll pass quickly, the ball quickly misses open J. That's assist he ain't getting. Is rolled, vice versa. Quickly get rolled the ball that he missed. It's another assist we're not getting. So I just think them two is the primary reason. Not they the only reason, but I think they're the primary reason why I assisted down because they haven't had a bad couple of games basically.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get those assists up, and also, of course, we play a slow pace, right? So, we play the kind of game that is not really conducive to a lot of assists because, we're not getting up and down the floor, running and those things, so we play a slower pace, and I don't think that's really conducive to assists. I'm sure Tom Thibodeau would like to get those assist numbers up, but right now we're averaging for the last 3 games 18.3 assists per game. We'll see what they can do. I do have one question I want to ask. This is outside of tonight's game. Why do the Brooklyn Nets are second in the Eastern Conference, almost moving in the first place in the Eastern Conference, very close to it, right? They have James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Why is it that sites like Nets Daily on Twitter always have something to say about the Knicks? Just worry about the Nets. You guys are better than us. You guys have a better record. You got 3 superstars. You're going to have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Why are you worried about the New York Knicks? Why, as Divine would say, are we renting space in your brain, Nets Daily? Right. That's all I want to know.
Little brother syndrome. That's what it is. Little brother syndrome. That's what it is.
Exactly. Why are we, first of all, they're late to the party, about this Bradley Beal rumor about World Wide West. They sent out a tweet today, just 6 minutes ago, that says, Knicks executive World Wide West is trying to steer Bradley Beal out of Washington. Then they say, isn't this tampering? Why are you worried about it?
Right.
Those guys over there, man. One day I'm gonna get them on the show so we can blast them. I've tried to reach out to them. They don't wanna come on the show, man. They don't wanna come on the show. So I gotta taunt them to try to get them out here on the show. Come on, Nets Daily. The next time we play the Knicks in Brooklyn come on the show so we can get at you. But anyway, let's get back to the Knicks and the Warriors. I just seen it and I just wanted to say something about it. Anyway, actually, before we get back to the Knicks and Warriors, DeMarcus Cousins, he's been released by the Houston Rockets, and a report has come out. A lot of people think that he's on his way to the Los Angeles Lakers almost automatically because the Lakers, they waived Quinn Cook, but the report says that they are unlikely to reunite with DeMarcus Cousins. So the Lakers are. So we'll see where he ends up. I don't think and I don't want him to end up with the Knicks, but obviously there's going to be some kind of draw because the Knicks need a big man and he's got Kentucky ties, right? He was a student of Kenny Payne. So there's going to be obvious draws there that people say, hey, you might want to go to New York. But Andy, you just said that, one of the reasons he wanted out of Houston is because he didn't want to come off the bench.
Yeah, he didn't like, playing behind Christian Wood. So, if he's looking for a starting job, I hope it's not going to be at the Knicks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to be that to have that type of competitive spirit to play in the NBA. You've been injured for like 5 years. You get an opportunity in Houston, play it out, let people see that you're healthy, go into the off season as a free agent, and then, sign a contract,
Right.
He doesn't want to sit behind anybody. You have been injured for the past, 2-3 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Steph, they play like 30 games. He was out for 10. so yeah, he was out for 10. Right. So he's like, after 20 games, he's looking for a starting job. That's a player that you kind of have to label like a cancer to the franchise. Right. He's unhappy in every situation possible. He was with the Lakers on the championship squad. He was with the Sacramento as the main guy. He was, with the Pelicans as the second fiddle. He can't find a place in this league.
Right. And it's like, listen, okay, you got to come off the bench. If you think, I like that any player thinks that they are starter material, or just even beyond just being a starter material, any player that thinks that they should be getting 30 minutes in a night in this league, right? You got to respect that. But bottom line is, just earn it.
Again, you got to earn it again.
Just earn it again. Yeah. Just go out there and prove. Make it where the coach can't take you off the floor. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just don't want that type of thing coming to this team. Right? We've got something good going on. The guys got good chemistry, a lot of camaraderie with each other. We don't need that here. We don't need, because just one person could come in and be very divisive and start to split things up. And it seems to be a strong group that works together. And we don't need that. We don't need
and
that.
He has baggage, Sim. If someone in this league has baggage, it might be Demarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
Like top 10 players for sure with baggage, off the court baggage. So
all kinds of baggage. He's got all kinds of baggage. Top notch too. Louis Vuitton. You know what I'm saying?
18-piece.
All kind of baggage, man. All kind of baggage. We don't need it. We don't need it at all. Looking at the injury reports for tonight for the New York Knicks, you guys know the injury report. Nerlens Noel is day-to-day with an ankle. He's probable for tonight's game. The last, one of the last guys we need to be out, but it says he's probable, so maybe he just twisted it a little bit. Austin Rivers, he's questionable for tonight's game, although even if he's there, he's not likely not going to play with an illness. And, of course, Mitchell Robinson is out, recovering from hand surgery. For the Warriors, they got a list of guys that are on the list. Nico Mannion, he's day-to-day. He didn't play with their G League team the other day. Kevin Looney, he's out with an ankle. He's questionable for tonight's game. So we'll see. And, of course, this is updated as of yesterday. Who knows what the updates are today? I haven't gotten those yet. Steph Curry, he was out in Charlotte due to an illness. He's questionable for tonight. I think he's probably going to play, right? He'll likely be there. James Wiseman, he was questionable for tonight's game. It's a good chance that he'll be there. Marquise Chris is out. Klay Thompson, of course, we know is out. Right? So we'll get an official report as to who's actually going to be out there playing. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry is going to be playing, and James Wiseman might be playing as well. You know what I mean? And, that gives a whole different feel to this team if those two guys are playing. When you look at the lineups, Elfrid Payton and Steph Curry, Reggie Bullock and Andrew Wiggins, R.J. Barrett and Kelly Oubre, Julius Randle and Draymond Green, and then Nerlens Noel in either Looney or Wiseman. So that's what it looks like between these two teams. And if we take a look at just some numbers behind tonight's game, you'll see the Golden State Warriors, they average 115.4 points per game, while the Knicks are averaging 103.5. Now, normally the Knicks are able to keep teams about 10 points below their season's average. right? You know, this is a tough team to play. Hopefully they can do the same with this team here. You know, once I get back to the group, I want to talk about some strategies that we need to use tonight. The Knicks should be able to do well on the boards. All right, the Knicks normally, you know, win the rebounding battle or at least come very close. On the season, the Knicks only averaging about 21 assists per game. The last 3 games has been down to 18. The Warriors, you know, they average 27.7 assists per game. Okay, you already know how they're playing, what they do. A lot of ball movement, a lot of cuts to the basket. The Knicks are going to have to be very, very attentive defensively to pull this game out tonight. The Warriors average about close to 8 steals per game. The Knicks are 6.5, close to 7. But, you know, those 8 steals a game lead to fast break points for the Warriors, and we don't want to get them out of running. Both teams about 5 blocks per game. The Knicks take care of the ball just a little bit better than the Warriors. You know, 13 to 14 turnovers per game. The Warriors shoot 46% from the field. The Knicks are 45%. The Warriors shoot 37.5% from 3. The Knicks are at about 36%. Both teams about 77% from the free throw line. The Knicks, they fare a little bit better in the paint than the Warriors, about 47 points to 45 points per game. The Knicks should get more second chance points, you hope. They average a little bit more than the Warriors, and of course the Warriors average about 15, close to 16 fast break points per game. We do not want to let these guys get out running on us. If we do that, we're going to be in trouble. There haven't been that many teams that really have gotten out and just killed us in the fast break this season. Part of that is because the Knicks play a slower game and they don't shoot a lot of threes. You know, and we could talk about that. You know, the 3-point attempts that the Knicks have. In just a second. The Knicks, of course, are led by Julius Randle. He leads the team in 3 main categories: points, rebounds, and assists. Steph Curry leads the Warriors in scoring at 29.9. Then Kelly Oubre leads them in rebounding at 5.9. And Draymond leads them in assists at 8.1. Andrew Wiggins, he leads them in blocks at 1.23. That tells me a little bit about their inside presence, their inside, you know, their defense inside. The problem is, you know, when you had Mitch, you can get that vertical space and you can get Mitch, you know, catching oops to the basket. Nerlens Noel is a little iffy because he's got bricks for hands. So you never know if he's going to catch it. You don't know what's going to happen when they look. Once you see Nerlens Noel is open, you know, right there, you're just like, okay, what's about to happen right now? Is he going to drop it? Is he going to fumble it out of bounds? Is it just going to go off his hands? You never know with Nerlens Noel. I love him, but you never know. He does average 1.92 blocks per game. And, you know, if I was the Knicks, if I'm Kenny Payne, I would take Nerlens Noel and post him up under the basket. Not post him up. Just stand him against a wall with a mat behind him. And I would just I would have him standing there. And then let every single person on the team stand at the free throw line and just throw footballs at him. One person, shoo, throw the football out and make him catch it. Have his hands up in a diamond like this. Catch the football, boom. No, everyone else, boom. You know, make him do that every practice about 100 to 150 times. You know, just have someone beam the football at him and make him catch it. Got to catch it, throw it down, catch it, throw it down, catch it, and throw it down. Because I don't know what it is. You can't catch. So, listen, you're not going to get post moves out of him like that and all these other things. But he should at least be able to catch the ball. I don't know. It makes me so mad. So it frustrates me so much that he can't catch the ball. It just bothers me. But anyway, the Knicks, man, we average 26 3-point attempts per game. That's last in the NBA. We make 10 per game. That's like 24th in the NBA. Do we need to shoot more threes? Steph, I'll start with you.
How many you said we shooting per game?
26.
I take it that's below the league average.
Yeah, that's last. That's last in the league.
Some I would say yes, but I think we don't have those the people that can hit them. You know, I mean, Randall is shooting 41%. Other than Randall, Bullock is not shooting well. RJ is not shooting well. So I don't think we should just be jacking them up just to get our numbers up if we don't have players who can actually shoot it. We need people who can shoot. And I'm so disappointed. I wouldn't say disappointed in Bullock. When you see his shot and when it goes in, you just like, man, if he could hit more of those, we'd be good money. So no, I don't think
shooting 38%, 37%. He's shooting 37%. I know it just seems like it.
It just seems like he's not hitting them. Like he's missing open shot. But maybe those are twos I'm talking about. I don't know.
I mean, it does seem like that. It seems like every time he gets an open look, he misses that joint, right? But also, while he's shooting 37% from the three-point line, he shoots 37.2%. He's only shooting 41% from the field. So he's still missing a lot of shots from the field.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he takes 4.7 three-point attempts per game. He makes 1.7. All right, so he makes about 2 per game. Shoots about 5 of them, makes about 2 of them per game. But it does. It feels like he's missing them. And not Reggie Bullock. Alec Burks is the same. He's shooting about 41% from the three-point line.
Well, in that case, Sam, maybe we should. I mean, if Burke is shooting 41%, Bullock is 37%, maybe we should shoot more threes. I thought it was much less than that.
Yeah, Burks is shooting 40.7% from the three-point line, right? He attempts 4.8 three-point attempts per game, and he makes 1.9. So he's about the same. He's making like 2 or 5 per game.
Wow.
But he's shooting better from the three-point line than he's shooting from the field. He shoots 39.6% from the field, and he shoots 40.7% from the three-point line. I mean, I guess as long as you're having the right guys take those shots more frequently.
Right.
And I think what happens is other teams have more guys that are that efficient from the three-point line. So we basically have 4 guys that are very efficient from the three-point line. Right? That's Julius Randle shooting 41%. Burks is shooting 41%. Reggie Bullock shooting 37%. And then you got Emmanuel Quickly, who he had a bad start to the season shooting from the three-point line, right? Mm-hmm. Since then, he's been shooting well. So when he's shooting 37%, 36.9%. He's actually probably closer to a 38% or 40% shooter from the three-point line. It's just he started off the season really, really low. Right? So he's probably even better than this 36.9%. So you got 4 guys that can really shoot it. I think other teams probably have more guys than that can really knock down that three-point shot.
Right.
We have 2 in the starting lineup, and we have 2 off the bench. Other teams probably have 3 or 4 in the starting lineup and 3 or 4 coming off the bench that can really knock down that three-point ball at 35, 36%. So I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know either. Like, how do you structure your offense so that you can shoot 10 more three-point shots per game and make sure that it's the right guys shooting those three-point shots?
Yeah. I mean, I think for Burke, he's always looking to put the ball on the floor and get into the lane. So on some of them kickouts, I'm wondering, I'll see tonight, is he open and can take a 3 and just chooses to put the ball on the floor and get into the lane? Because if he's shooting 40%, he probably should take more of them.
Right.
It's kind of scary, though. A 15-man roster, you got 4 guys who can shoot the 3. That is scary, bro.
Well, Kevin Knox, but he's not playing.
Guys, and Knox is not playing right. So you got 4 guys, even out of the rotation, 4 out of the 10 hit a 3, and it's a 3-point league too, man. So that's kind of that's tough to deal with, man. But I guess that's why we play the game that we play, is because of that, because we don't have sufficient 3-point shooters, and and we just had to go to that, slow down, throw it in, give it to Julius Randle, and because definitely in the first unit, you only got Julius Randle and Bullock, and everybody else is not 3-point shooters. And then That's a pretty tough situation to be in, man. And the way we playing basketball, not to have 3-point shooters like that is amazing to me. Not to have 3-point shooters, and we still almost 1,500. 500. You got to tip your hat to Tibbs, man, because there's no way we could survive that. I don't think the rest of the year, like you said, you're missing Knox 3-point shooting. I think we got to do some retweaking somewhere to get some more shooters in there. We're going to be able to maintain with the rest of the NBA. Because this is a 3-point shooting league per se, you know what I mean? The Brooklyn Nets got 4 guys and they start units shooting over probably 40%. So that's kind of tough, man. But I guess we gotta take it as it is, man. We gotta Alfred Payton gives us a lot on the other end, but we gotta sacrifice a good defense, for 3-point shooting. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I think some of it is the way Thibodeau likes to play, or at least the way he's assessing this team and saying that we can, or figures that we can play best. Right? I know me. I hate coaching a helter-skelter game where things are just flying all around and ball, guys are moving and running all over the place. And I don't like coaching those type of games. It feels out of control to me. And I feel like maybe that's a little bit what Thibodeau does too. So a slower paced game, you feel more control. You can see the game and make adjustments better when it's a slower pace. I don't know if that's what Tom Thibodeau likes to do. When I watched his teams in Chicago, they played a slower pace, but they still could score the basketball, right? Although they did play a little bit of a slower pace. They weren't as fast as other teams, but that was a different time too. I feel like with this team, maybe he's like, the skelter isn't for us because we don't have that kind of a basketball IQ, right?
And it increases the turnovers too, or the potential for turnovers.
Yep, increases your turnovers. And that's another thing I get afraid about, those 3-point shots. If we're not making them, now you get a lot of long rebounds, and now you get the other team out and running a little bit more. So that bothers me with this team as well. You got to have guys that's knocking them out. I guess if you could find a way for Burks and Bullock to get three more 3-point attempts per game each, maybe that can help you out. Maybe each of them make at least one more per game, and start to up their average from here on out, 3 more points per game. You up your average maybe 6 more points a game. And now you're looking at, scoring close to 110 or something like that per game. Clearly, though, that 3-point shot, that 3-point basket is one of the reasons why we're not as we don't score as much as we can. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how or if he wants to address it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely something that we can watch here on out as we're moving forward. Now, looking at the game itself, obviously Steph Curry is a guy that we got to stop. And Alfred Payton did a good job last game, playing him tight, running off screens, bumping off screens. I think the Knicks are a little bit better now, even than when we played the Warriors. Ever since that game in Chicago, when we just got smacked, our defense just looked bad. Right? We've been playing much better defense, in my opinion, as far as trying to do a better job getting to the 3-point shooters. That doesn't mean teams didn't make shots against us, shooting a 3-point shot. But I feel like we've done a better job getting to those 3-point shooters, a better job watching those guys cutting back door. Against the Warriors, we need it all. We need it all to come into fruition tonight. We need all of it to work, because that is the basis of what they do. Getting guys open from threes, sending Steph Curry off screens, and because he comes off so many screens, you got to pay so much attention to him. When he gets free from those screens, other people come open, and then he can hit those guys, and it just creates havoc for you. Right? What do we do? And the hard thing about Steph Curry is the ball isn't in his hands, right? Like, you look at Trae Young, you look at Damian Lillard, the ball is in their hands. You can send a trap and get the ball out of their hands. The ball's not always in his hands. He's coming and running off screens, and then he's deadly that way. So, what do we do? What did we do last time? Andy, I'm going to start with you. What did we do last time, and how do we replicate that tonight?
Well, like you said before, Alfred played a phenomenal defensive game on Steph last time. And I attribute that to playing him really tight and thinking about the passing lanes. They're a high assist team, which is caused by basically catch and shoot or catch, on and get just the dunk or the layup. So what we got to think on today's game on the defensive end is, cutting those passing lanes and not getting caught, on backdoor plays. They don't ISO that much, so we should be fine in that department. But, Steph can have a great game every night, and he can have a great game. 3 quarters he can play really bad, and in the fourth quarter he can get you 20 couple, right? So it's going to be really hard task for our guards, not only Alfred but for the rest of the guys. But like I said, I think we gotta watch the passing lanes. That's really important for this game because they move the ball really fast, and sometimes if you overplay them, you can get caught backdoor, and that might as well be a really bad point to be on the defensive end. As that Sim, on the 3-point thing, I think we didn't say one thing about this, that this league, like Divine said, is a 3-point league, and most of the teams are accustomed to play that high octane 3-point offense, and that's why teams prepare their whole defense versus it. Meanwhile, we shoot, like you said, 26 times from 3, but I don't know if you'll notice that basically Reggie Bullock never takes a bad 3-pointer. Right. Only bad 3-pointers we take is from IQ, and some, like half of them, are from Burks, right? So I don't think for just to get those numbers up, we should just take them, right? And as the rest of the NBA defends the 3-point line really good, I don't think Thibs is going to go that way. I think he's going to rather take the shot he's comfortable with, the players are comfortable with, which is the open shot, the open man, rotate the ball, instead of just take the 3-point shot that's from a guy that's going to be covered, doubled, or coming off a screen and having like only a split second to pull up for the shot. That's why we're not going to be taking those games. And like you said, Thibs likes a half-court game, which he can, coach in that game. Because if it's going to be a run-and-gun game, you're not going to be yelling, okay, pass it on the left wing, pass it on the right wing, or whatever, right? When he has the ball in the half-court, he can instruct his point guard. He can instruct the guys that are running up the court to do this or that. So, break up the play, don't break up the play. So it's not going to be, I think that way. So we're just going to go up to 32, attempts from 3-point land just for the sake of it.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I definitely agree with you there.
And Sim, just an important thing versus a team like Golden State, I think we got to limit their pace, because if we get caught up into their pace, that's totally not our game, and we might feel comfortable for a bit or for a stretch, but not for the whole game. I don't think we could extend the pace of the Golden State Warriors, not only coaching wise, even condition wise. I don't think we have it on this roster to just switch up for 1 or 2 games in the season to run with these guys like crazy. So I think we got to limit the pace. And that's why we have less turnovers than them and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, we have less turnovers, like 1 turnover less, right? In the whole seasons when stat-wise. But we have a way slower pace. So basically, they might be a better team handling the ball.
Right. That's a good point.
That's true. That's a very good point. That's a really good point. Right. Because they get, when you talk about like shot attempts, right? When you look at shot attempts, the Knicks shot attempts this season, we rank 29th in the league in shot attempts at 85.5, right? And then our makes are 38.4. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, they attempted at 89.4 and they make 41.5. So I mean, they literally are almost 5 shot attempts more than us. And they're making about 3 or 4 shot attempts more than we are as well, which that equates to a lot in the NBA.
Exactly. And not to mention the offensive rebounding in this thing, because I think, they might have, maybe similar numbers. But as you said, if they're taking more shots, there's more opportunities to get those rebounds and shots taken, right? And we got to think that these are also like averages, right? So in a fast-paced game like they play in the West, it's going to be like, 110 possessions a game. When they come to the East Coast, it might be like 82, 85 or whatever, right? So it's going to be a totally different game with teams playing the West Coast team versus an East Coast team.
Yeah. So Devon, how do we slow them down? Does that mean we play a slower paced game even than we already do on the offensive side? Or is that going to hurt us even more? Because if you play a really, really slow pace, you've got to be efficient from the field. Because a slow pace, a lot of times that means you're getting, I guess you might get some second chance shots, and we've been doing well with second chance points. But the more you slow it down, the more efficient I think you got to be. Yeah. Right? Of course, that would help to slow them down, but we're not an efficient shooting team either. What do you think, Devon?
I think first and foremost, I think we got to run them off that 3-point line. You got to run them off that line, and we got to communicate too. I think the key, even the communication, got to be key. Because if Steph Curry, when somebody get ready to set a screen with him, do you go behind the screen? Do you go over? Do you fight through it? Or so I think him and Noel or whoever giving that screen to free Curry up, they got to be in good communication. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what? Because that guy, that's what he thrive off of. Getting that screen at the top and then you don't pick that screen up, he gonna pop it. So I think Alpha Payton got to do a good job of either going under it, around it, whatever the case may be, and run them off the line. Try to make them shoot 2-pointers. You know what I mean? And I just think that when they pass that ball around, somebody got to, soon Andrew Wiggins or Oubre or Steph Curry catch that ball, somebody got to be in their grill. You know what I mean? You just can't let them catch the ball. Then all of a sudden now you lunging at them. You know what I mean? And I just think that's a bad thing to do. I think when that ball hit that guy's hand, you kind of got to be up in their face like you an offense lineman going against a defense lineman. Get up in them, make them put the ball on the floor and drive toward the basket. And, like I said, I'll settle for 2 to 3 any day. You know what I mean? So I just think that we got to communicate real well and just run them guys off that 3-point line, because hopefully we don't do too much switching, because too much switching gets us killed a lot of times. And just man-to-man defense, man up and get in your man face, hopefully, and they can slow them down. I mean, they the Warrior. They're going to shoot what they're going to shoot. But I think that, to me, from a defense standpoint, we just got to get up in their face, man, and don't wait till they get the ball. Then you trying to run 3 feet to catch up to them, and they jacking up shots. And from our standpoint, we just got to go at them dudes, man. I mean, I don't think other than Wiseman, they don't have a lot of size. They got athletic guys, but they don't have a lot of size. I think Alpha Payton just got to pound that ball into that paint, man, and force them cats to, force Steph Curry to play some defense, first of all. You got to make Steph Curry play some defense. If he's going to make you play defense, you need to make him play defense. So I just think that Alpha Payton need to take advantage of that and just go in that paint. And RJ Barrett got to, he got a tough task tonight, him and Randall, because you got Draymond Green and Kelly Oubre. They're some good defenders. They are some lengthy good defenders. So it's going to be tough from that standpoint, but you got to make them play, though. And I think if they do that, I think we should be all right, though, hopefully.
Yeah, and Kelly Oubre, he's playing some good basketball right now. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 21 points and 7 rebounds per game. We're going to have to really pay attention to him. You know what I'm saying? We're really going to have to pay attention to him. The last thing you want is for, a guy to really get off, and he's shooting 49% from the field. So the last thing you want is another guy to be able to get off on you, which he's been getting off. And, we're going to have to play good defense on him. He's finding his comfort zone with the Golden State Warriors. So we got to be ready, man, because these guys got weapons and they're starting to play good ball. Now, they did, and they're coming off of 2 losses in a row. Right? And, they're going to be hungry to get a win tonight. So we got to come out there. We can't be feeling ourselves. We got to feel good. They've played 5 Eastern Conference teams in a row. Their last 5 games have been against Eastern Conference teams. They lost to Brooklyn. They beat Cleveland. They beat Miami. They lost to Orlando, and they lost to Chicago. So
Charlotte, right?
Charlotte.
Yes,
not Chicago. Chicago, Charlotte. So we will see what the Knicks can do tonight. It's going to be a good basketball game, man. Looking at the standings, the Knicks are currently in the 7th spot, but teams are starting to play well. The Washington Wizards, they've won 5 in a row. They're starting to play well. They're
That's the end of Bill right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Y'all can forget about it.
Right there. Forget it.
Y'all can forget about it, for real. The Cleveland Cavaliers have fallen all the way out of it. They've lost 10 in a row. They're 10-21 on the season. They've lost 10 in a row. They're done. They're out of there. They're looking towards the lottery.
Wow.
Isn't that something? They were a very competitive team earlier in the season. Very competitive. Obviously, they took Andre Drummond out the lineup, and,
there you go.
They've lost 10 in a row. They've lost 10 in a row. Yep. Again, the Wizards, they've won 5 in a row. The Magic, they've won 3 in a row. They're 13-18. Miami Heat, they've won 3 in a row. They've won 7 of their last 10 games. Teams are starting to play better. And go on runs, man. Chicago, they're 6-4 in their last 10. Yeah. They've won their last 2. They're 14-16. They're creeping up. They're creeping up our back.
Orlando won 3 in a row too, right?
Atlanta,
Orlando.
Orlando, yeah. Orlando won 3 in a row. They're 5-5 in the last 10. The Celtics are dropping though. Don't know what it is, but they're dropping. They're 4-6 in the last 10. Games. They're 15-15 right now, 4-6 in the last 10. If we can win tonight, we can jump over top of the Boston Celtics unless they play and win. I'm not sure if they play tonight.
Yeah,
let me see.
Mavericks.
Yeah, so looking tonight, the Hawks and the Cavaliers play tonight. The Pistons and the Magic play tonight. The Kings and the Nets. Of course, we play the Warriors, the 76ers and the Toronto Raptors, the Celtics and the Mavericks. Then you got the Timberwolves and the Bucks, the Blazers and the Nuggets. You got the Wizards and the Clippers that play tonight. So, a lot of people that's right there with us are playing tonight, and it's an important game tonight. I'm hoping that the Mavericks can go ahead and take the Celtics out. We can get this win, take the Celtics out. We move into that 6th spot, looking nice and pretty. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised at the Celtics, and I know this is a Knicks show and everything, but what's going on with the Celtics?
Maybe you think Marcus Smart made that much of a difference?
Yeah, man. People always discount, so many guys that don't put up these big points and this and that, and they just don't realize how integral, or whatever word, I don't know if that's the word that I want to use, but how much a team relies on some guys, even if they don't score points, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or do these magnificent things here and there that affect the stat books, but they're them glue guys that hold the team together, and he's one of those guys, kind of like Reggie Bullock is to our defense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, especially early in the season, they were like, oh, we got to get him out of here. But he's very important to our defense. When he's not in there, that first unit, that defense on that first unit looks horrible when he's not in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I saw it last game, Sam, wasn't he the one that played, what's the guy? He only took like 6 shots at the Minnesota. Was Bullock on him?
Oh, Beasley.
Beasley. Yeah.
Bullock.
I think Bullock played Beasley a little bit too.
There you go.
Yep. So the Celtics are sliding, man. They're sliding, and it's crazy because they got some. They got Jason Tatum. They got
Jaylen
Brown. They got Kemba Walker. Like, they got some guys on that team, but they're slipping.
Kemba though.
And that's going to cause them move.
Suspect and excuse me, Andy. I'm sorry. They bench is suspect, and I don't think Tristan Thompson and Tice, they not giving you what they need from that spot. Not from an offense standpoint, anyway.
And Kemba is not playing well either.
Right.
Oh, Kemba was terrible there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something.
He's a shadow. He's a shadow of himself. In the Boston team. I think Sim. If I can add to the Boston thing, I think they have too many alphas there, because I think Jaylen Brown and Smart are alphas, but they're not the best players there. I think Tatum is their best player, and that might be something that's really hard to go past by and for the rest of the players. That's a really deep thing that you would have to think about. But the perfect situation is when your best player is the alpha and he leads the whole thing. I know these guys follow Smart and Brown because I bet they do in the locker room and stuff like that. But it's really hard for guys like the newcomers, like Tristan Thompson. He's a vet. He has to come into a team and listen to those guys. I bet Kemba was thinking that he might be the leader when he came to maybe not the number one leader, but I think he was thinking that he's gonna have a bigger role as a leader at least. And now he's like the fourth player on that squad, so he's basically a rotation guy. A starter, but as far as leadership goes, I think he's like the fourth or fifth player on that team. So that's why he doesn't feel comfortable there. He was better, suited in a situation that he had, in Charlotte, which he was the main guy, the best player, the main guy, the leader, the whatever. I think that's why he lost the confidence in his skill set, and I think that he needs a trade from there.
Are they getting close to being one of those teams that starts to fizzle out, break down, and not be as good as you expected them to be? And, maybe in a year or two, some of those guys start to become available?
I think they were thinking already about moving Smart last season. And I think that might have been a better move for them instead of keeping him. But I still see a couple of more teams, going to the rebuild mode. Even in the East, I think Orlando is one of those teams. They strapped in the cap situation. They don't got that many young guys that get playing time because of injuries or whatever other situation. But I think that the Magic are gonna, start trading those guys and those contracts around and starting a really deep rebuild process. And on the West Coast, we have several teams like that. So I don't know what those teams are doing, like those Minnesota teams, Sacramento, even Phoenix. If this CP3 thing didn't work out for them, they'd have to blow this thing up.
Right.
Luckily for them.
Right.
So
right. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for them that it's working out. Right, because they would have, but it is definitely working out for them. I'll tell you that.
Sure. They good question. Best record.
Yeah, it's definitely working out for them, man. 20-10 on the season. Question for you guys, and I'm gonna start with JD. The Mavs and the Celtics play tonight. If the Celtics lose and the Knicks win, the Knicks jump over top of them. Of course, if the Mavs lose, it pushes them closer towards the lottery, which I don't think they're going to be in the lottery. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs in the Western Conference, but they're 14 and 15. They're probably going to be about 500 for the most of the season. JD, which one are you rooting for, man? You want the Mavs to lose or you want the Celtics to lose tonight?
I want the Mavs to lose. I want the Mavs to lose just because I just think the Eastern Conference is that you're going to continue to see the parity throughout the season. So if you're going to continue to see that, I'd rather have the Mavericks continue to, spin downward. And with all the drama that's going on there, I'm not sure if you guys touched on that, but I think Knicks fans, we want the perfect scenario of we make the playoffs, our young guys get playoff experience, and at the same time, we get a lottery pick via the Dallas Mavericks.
Hell yeah! Hey, if you listen to yesterday's show, we started off as an overachieving team fighting for the playoff spot. Then we were going to the NBA Finals. Then we had Patrick Ewing on the team. Next thing you know, we were the Chicago Bulls. I mean, I don't know how it escalated, but somehow it escalated for the New York Knicks. So you know what? As Knicks fans, we wishing for it all. Freak it. We might as well win the championship and let the Mavs tank, and we get a first round draft, and we get a lottery pick. Let's go for it all. We might as well go for it all.
You gotta be in the conversation. I mean, if you look at history, the Bulls were slated ninth when they won the lottery, and they had Derrick Rose. So was the Cleveland Cavaliers were slated ninth on lottery night, and they won the lottery. The Lakers just a few years ago were slated 11th, and they jumped up. And with this new system, once you're in that 11, 10, 9, 8 range, anything can happen.
It's true.
On lottery night. So it's not that I want them or I expect them to be one of the worst records. I just want them to be in the lottery so that we can have a chance.
Right.
To move.
Right. We will see. What's your take on tonight's game?
Yeah, I just came in when Andy was making a great point about the pace, and that's where I would start off. The Golden State Warriors are second in pace, and we're last. So this is going to be the battle of that. And I think that the way that we win that battle is by rebounding. We have to rebound the ball. The last time we played them, we out-rebounded them 55-46. And that is a key for me tonight, because out of those 55 rebounds, Mitch Robinson had 8, and he's out tonight. And so the way that we control it is limit them, second opportunities, and we have to rebound the basketball, because that will neutralize their ability to push up, push the pace. And so that will be something that I'm watching for. They may have some players that are back tonight, so there you go. There's adding more priority to the rebounding. James Wiseman might play. Kevon Looney might come back today. And so, they are second in pace. They're first in the league in assists. They're fifth in three-point attempts, and they're sixth in three-point made. So their whole ingredient is based on their ability to push up the ball. So that's why, in order to neutralize all of that, we have to out-rebound them and control the pace.
Yeah. Now, great points. Great points. One of the things that I like to do when I play a team that likes to get out on a fast break is
foul them.
Foul them, right? I have like one of my best defensive guards. When they rebound the basketball, I have them push up on the guard who they want to outlet to. Now, if they have a big man that can push the ball up the floor, that always changes a lot, right? But I try to pressure up the rebounders when I'm going against a team that can really push the basketball, because it slows them down a little bit and allows everybody else to get back, right? So let's say Wiseman gets the ball and he's looking for Draymond. Okay, you have Julius Randle go ahead and press up a little bit on Draymond, which now he has to pay attention. He can't just whip that ball up the floor. He has to pay attention to having somebody in front of him, right? So it's kind of like pressing a little bit off of rebounds, but not really pressing. You're sending most of your guys back, but that ball handler, you don't just send everybody back. Whoever's handling the ball, you have somebody there to stay with him. Right, so he doesn't have free reign to just see the court without a defender in front of him. Because I do agree, grabbing those offensive rebounds will definitely be key, which means the guards are going to have to come back and help rebound. We need Barrett, we need Alfred, Derrick Rose, Reggie Bullock. We need all them guys trying to hit the glass on the offensive side. The only problem is if you send too many guys to hit that offensive glass, now you got a bunch of guys, that's out there free on the break. And if they get that rebound, now they can go because you sent a lot of guys to the glass. So, we have to, it's going to be a line to toe for Tom Thibodeau. Just making sure that we can rebound the basketball. And the thing with Noel, and thank you for the super chat, Dan Alcanet. He said if Noel could catch, that'd be a game breaker. Yeah, it might be. But the thing about Noel is he's not like a big-time rebounder that way. He struggles to get his rebounds. You know what I mean? He's not a crazy rebound like that. So that's definitely going to be something to watch for him being issued tonight.
Tim, I'm concerned about my biggest concern tonight is, and we talked about this privately, is Draymond Green. We have one of the best defenses in the NBA, but a lot of the conversations early on this season has been that we have also had a tendency to leave 3-point shots, a lot of open 3-point opportunities. Draymond Green is the perfect player to expose that in us. And so he knows exactly the timing of those Warriors players coming off screens in their system. So I'm going to be looking at, are we challenging shots? Are we coming across and, beating rotations? And are we sound in our assignments? Because if we allow this team who needs to win this game, because they play tomorrow on national television, so they want to get this game. And don't think that Stephen Curry does not know that fans are coming in tonight and this is the Garden. So there's a lot of buzz. It's a big day for us, because we want Julius Randle to get an all-star bid tonight. Fans are coming in tonight. So there's a lot of headlines here. And so the Warriors are going to come out ready. So this is a big game for both teams.
Yeah, it is. This is a big game for both teams. And what's crazy is it's shaping up to be like a big game in recent New York Knicks history. If you think about it, it's shaping up that way. They can go, they can be 500, possibly move up into that 6th spot. Maybe Julius Randle, and I know this doesn't have an impact on the game, but it's part of the whole atmosphere of the game. Maybe Julius Randle becomes an all-star. It's shaping up to be a big night for the Knicks, and it's crazy. I mean, it feels good to have something that's a big night for the Knicks. You know what I mean? The past couple of years, a big night is if, we beat the Detroit Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Ends up being a big night. You know what I mean? It's shaping up to be a big night for the Knicks, and hopefully we can pull out a nice win tonight. Andy, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. Anything anybody want to add that we missed just about this game before we get up out of here?
I mean, just to piggyback on pace, and it's happened a few times where we give up 60 points in the first half. We just can't. We're not going to be able to maintain that. So just in keeping what everyone is saying, we got to try to keep them as much as possible 50 and below.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And what did the last time we played them, what did they do in the first half? And of course, the last time we played them, they were well below 500, I believe. And, they were not playing well. They were trying to figure out some pieces, and it seems like they've figured that out a little bit more, and they're playing better basketball.
It's not that we can't come back if we give up 60. It's just that now we got to put in extra effort in that second half to limit them.
And remember, that's the game that Draymond Green only played 17 minutes that game. Right. And I mean, even though we were up double digits, a lot of conversation was, what could have been if he would have played.
Right.
So tonight, but we never know with him. He can get in trouble again. He's just that passionate of a player.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what happens tonight.
So in the last game, and actually they were 8-7 in the last game. We were 8-8.
Okay.
Yeah, we scored 63 points and we gave up 57 in the first half last game. Yeah, and listen, we shot 57% in the first half. We shot 57% from the 3-point line. They shot 28% from the 3-point line in the first half. In the second half of the game, we shot 30% from the 3-point line. They shot 17% from the 3-point line. How much do we expect that to happen? I wouldn't expect that to happen again this game, right? We shot 40 overall. We shot 46% from the 3-point line, and they shot 23%. But get this, we made 11 3-point shots. They made 9. So, it was still close. Even though they only shot 23%, they still made 9. They were 9 for 38, and we were 11 for 24. Of course, we only shoot 26 per game. We shot 46% from the field. They shot 38% from the field. And they still attempted more shots than we did. Just a couple more shots than we did. We out-rebounded them 55-46. And Mitchell Robinson, he had 18 points and 8 rebounds that game. And he had 4 offensive rebounds and 4 defensive rebounds. We had a total of 11 offensive rebounds.
It's gonna be a different game. I didn't even know he had 18 points. I knew he had 8 rebounds, and as you mentioned, even with Kelly Oubre, you said that he's a player for you to watch. I mean, that's also a player I'm watching because in that game, I think he scored 7 points and he was like around 2 for 10 or 2 for 11.
Right.
And then his last 3 games has been his best stretch because he scored over 20 points individually in each game. And that's been his best stretch of consecutive games. Right. So he's shooting 50% from 3 in the last 3 games as well. And so it's gonna be a different game this time around.
It is. It's gonna be a different game. We're gonna need Julius Randle to eat on the boards. He had 16 points and 17 rebounds in the last game. Right. Nerlens Noel had 11 rebounds in the last game. So we need both of those guys. The issue is, what can Taj give us on the boards this game? Because Todd's going to be that backup center. What can he give us on the boards? Can he give us 8 rebounds, 7 to 8 rebounds? That'll go a long way, I think, if he can give us 7 to 8 rebounds. Let me, R.J. Barrett had 5 rebounds. Peyton had 5 rebounds. Peyton played a good game. He had 15 points. I'm sorry, Peyton had 2 rebounds. He had 5 assists. Peyton had 15 points and 5 assists. R.J. Barrett had 28 points and 5 assists that game. So this game is going to look a lot different than the last game. And
also, Sim, if you look at that game as well, Tom Thibodeau literally played the starters almost about 40 minutes each.
Right.
Peyton played 37 minutes, and it was because probably of Peyton's size and his strength being able to at least, guard Curry the best way that he can. So I'm interested to see if Tom Thibodeau sticks to that script this time around, and the bench, who is the one that's going to be left out? Because the second unit is going to be important, especially that Rose and Quickly tandem. They've been absolutely awful in terms of shooting. So Tom Thibodeau is already, looking at that, and he might have a short leash on some of these guys, and he might, look to, duplicate that strategy. So
yeah.
There's so many things to look at, Sid. I just can't wait for that game, man.
There's a lot of things to look at. A lot of things to look at. Reggie Bullock played well for us that game. He shot 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. Steph, he had 12 points. He was 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. We definitely gonna need that again. Let me see who else shot well. R.J. Barrett shot well from the 3-point line. Yeah, and Steph Curry really didn't play too well of a game. He had 30 points, but he wasn't. Well, I mean. He shot 47% from the field, 35% from the 3-point line. He had the one stretch in the first quarter. Elfrid Payton was doing really good, and then all of a sudden he just exploded for however many points in a couple of minutes. Yeah, 11 points in 2 minutes or something crazy like that. Steph Curry did. It's going to be an interesting game because this is one that we definitely need. So it's going to be a game. Big shout out to Matt Shaw. He said. The Knicks bench needs to maintain the lead that the starters created, for example, the T-Wolves game. That's why Tibbs had limited minutes given to the bench players. Yeah, that's true. If we can come out to a lead, the bench is going to have to they're going to have to maintain it. And I'm nervous about that against this team because even, with a team like the Warriors, even their bench is able to play the same style of basketball, and that concerns me because our bench isn't great defensively, in my opinion. So it's going to be an interesting game, man. Andy, you got some last words before we get up out of here?
No, I just hope we're going to get a W today. I hope, we're going to outshoot the Golden State Warriors. I just hope that because, like you said, Bullock, if he had 4 for 5 for 3, I let him shoot 15 times even with that percentage, even 20 times.
Right.
So, yeah, but, I think it might not be the same scenario that was the last game because that was a wild game. But, I think we can grind out a game and, they might even not be playing, or limit minutes on some of those guys. So that might be also our advantage. So,
yeah. Divine?
Yeah, man. You know what? I think it's going to be a tough challenge tonight, man. They got some good wing defenders. The way Andrew Wiggins is playing defense this year, him, Kelly Oubre, and Draymond Green, there's some good wing defenders right there. So RJ and Bullock and them got to do their thing. But one thing I am happy about is that I know they got Wiseman, but don't underestimate the experience of a guy like Nerlens Noel. This kid is an experienced ball player. He's not no cat who just coming in there. So Wiseman, he talented. But Nerlens Noel is an experienced, good, savvy, veteran ball player. He's been around the league a long time. he done went up against some of the best centers around. So he know what he got to do tonight. And I think if he just could contain Wiseman, make Wiseman, show him why he a rookie, I think we'd be all right. And we just got to go and play our game, man. Play our defense, come battle, and let the chips fall where they may. And I think we'd be all right. But one note, though, out of all games this year, I wouldn't care if Dallas Mavericks lose every game this year. They need to beat Boston tonight. I don't care if they lose every game here, but tonight they need to give it to Boston. For real. Boston 15-15. We about to go 16-15. So listen, I want that pick too, but not tonight. I hope KP go for 30. But yeah,
KP is out.
Game tonight, we'll be all right, though.
But see, that's what you need, right? I guess it could work a couple of ways. Dallas, they already got the inside information on KP, so they know what's going on. Right? They know if they want him. They know if they want to move him. Let KP go for 40 tonight, and the Atlanta Hawks be like, oh, my gosh, KP, we need KP. Trade for KP, do something. Somebody trade for KP, and then all of a sudden the Dallas Mavericks is like, they're really bad, and boom, there you go. Perfect scenario for the Knicks.
Real quick, shout out to Legion. Legion, you had a day off yesterday, so I need that energy on that play-by-play tonight, man. I need that energy. I'm going to have you on. I'm going to blast the volume in my house, too, because I need to hear those fans at the Garden. But I need you on your A game tonight.
There you go. You might as well give us your last words, man. Since JD, you might as well give us your last words.
Let's get it, man. Let's hope we get this win. And Julius Randle, I think he will be player of the game. And, I can't wait to chop it up after because we broke down so many layers to this game. I can't wait to see how everything transpired.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. And Steph?
Today is the day that Randall gets named with an All-Star, hopefully. So let's get it. And let's get to 500. It's been a long time, for us as a franchise. Sorry to say that we're looking forward to being 500, but I'm with Divine. I want to see that. And if that means the Mavs win to help us do it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's big because even though we started the season at 5-3, they fell, 4 or 5 games below 500 earlier. They battled back. And to get to 500 is an accomplishment, is a good accomplishment for the team, right? Okay, we got here. Were finally able to get over the hump, right? Or at least get on top of the hump. Right. And then the next game we can get over the hump. You know what I mean? And I think that's something big for the team to be able to just get over that hump. And then maybe you can see them cruise. It's like fighting up the hill. Now you get to the top, and you can let your hands off of the handlebars and let your wheels go and just sit back and cruise down the hill. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they're gonna cruise like that, but you guys get what I'm saying. They can get over the top, and then maybe they feel confident and they can start to, string together a few of them. So we'll see. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining in. Catch us after the game about 10:15 for the post game. And we're heading up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful. Before I get out of here, man, big shout out to Kareem. Thank you for the super chat. He said, barbecue chicken alert. Let's go Knicks. Barbecue chicken. He had taken it down. The last show, he took it down a little bit. I don't remember what he said, but it wasn't barbecue chicken anymore. I was like, you sure barbecue chicken? He said something else. You can go check the last show. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Spread love. We out.